Hey everyone, welcome to another Koi happy hour. Just waiting for our guest to get in here from the market maker that we're working with, and I'll be right back in a sec.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey, welcome.
Awesome.
I don't know if you can see there's a chat on the right hand side, and looks like our billionaire Koi is sweating.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. Guys, sorry for delays. Not
Good.
not used to Discord.
Yeah,
Actually, that's my first time using being a speaker in the Discord. So it's my debut.
congratulations. Welcome to the Koi community.
Thank
We
you.
record these as well, so we'll do a Q&A with the people who are here, and then it goes out on our YouTube and everywhere else. Um, so welcome to the Koi Happy Hour. We do this every Friday. Hey, Koi community. Sorry, I know this has been a little bit of a busy month. Um, I want to introduce you to Cicada, which is our new market maker. And we're going to just talk through kind of, I guess, what happened with the launch, what's gone wrong, how we're hoping to fix it, and what we've been doing so far along that direction. Um, Den, before we dive into kind of the Koi side of things, do you want to tell us a little bit about Cicada, how long you guys have been around, kind of the great work that you've been doing? We were introduced to you by a number of different parties who all said Cicada is the best. You got to work with Cicada. So we're really happy to be working with you guys. But can you tell us a little bit more about the firm and what you guys have been doing?
Yeah, sure. So, okay, let me start from wider picture, but I don't want to do like a sales pitch here. So just, brief picture about like who we are and how long are we on the market. So let me introduce myself. I'm Dan. I'm in crypto since 2017. I used to be a tech person. I used to be a developer for many years. Like I have a strong technical background since 2008. Built several startups, mostly in Web 2. So joined the crypto space in 2017. Earned some money, lost almost everything, then earned it back. So yeah, just a roller coaster, as I believe most of us here. Yeah, in terms of Cicada, so actually Cicada Market Maker is a part of Cicada Capital, which is like a holding of different set of companies. So like among our services is like not only market making but also a VC, OTC deals, liquidity provision to DeFi's, advisory, tokenomics, all this stuff, marketing agency as well. So it's like, huge corporate umbrella. Not that huge. I mean, huge in terms of services we offer, but not like in number of people work in the company. Yeah. So we were investing in projects, and in order to secure investments, we kind of like hired an in-house market making team. Many VCs do that, and OTC platform and LPs as well. And then we kind of saw that on the market there is a demand for like good ethical market making services, who really care about the product. I believe, guys, like if you have a project, or if you're gonna have a project, if you're gonna have conversations with every market maker, that like we all say the same same things, that we are ethical, that we are honest, etc. So like the way we actually try to stand out here, like, well, Al is gonna say it, but like we we saw the chart, we saw what's going on with Koii, and like we've seen projects like that, and like, hey, come on, it's just unfair to projects. Like you have a community, you have an idea, you truly believe in what you're doing, and like you gotta have a strong partners behind your back who support you and who help you actually to leverage on what you did, like in terms of coin, tokens, markets, all that. So yeah, among our latest and my personal like achievements this week, a great partnership with T Rise, RWA project. They are partners with Canton Network, which is they tokenized 4 trillion US dollars in assets in US. Crazy company, like insane. Their partners are like Goldman Sachs, Microsoft, BNP Paribas, Deloitte. So like huge, like insane partnership. And yeah, we're happy. Like we jumped in. We're their market makers. Um, yeah, just happy to share one of the deals I closed this week. Yeah, that's kind of about us.
Right on. And you guys have a couple of offices, main offices in Dubai. Pretty decent team. We've
Yeah.
talked to a lot of the the big difference with Cicada that we noticed is the finance people at Cicada are actually also technical people, which I really appreciate. Um, which is a big difference compared to a lot of the folks that we talked to previously and the previous market makers we were working with. A lot of like quantitative analysis and things like that. I want to highlight one thing that you guys say, which is kind of around, I guess, supporting the project and how you do that. One of the previous things that we had talked about was just this idea of kind of principled market making strategies and how to kind of stabilize a market without dominating it so that we can actually help other liquidity providers grow into the market as well. Can you talk a little bit about that strategy and kind of how you guys have done this in the past with kind of token revivals, I guess, if you want to put it that way?
Well, yeah, let's put it this way. So many cases we have are the tokens that have issues with price, with the chart, um, or with the previous market makers, and they try to do some marketing, they try to do some activity besides the like developing the project, and that has some price impact. But like, okay, imagine the case: you're the project, and you do some incredible stuff, some good product, has value, has community, um, and you are kind of highlight that in your media, in your socials, here in Discord, in Telegram groups, whatever. And then like it has some price impact because like you guys, community, or like other traders, they see, okay, like those guys, those folks are doing something great, they're pushing the industry somewhere forward, and price goes up. Um, so obviously, in everyone's mind, like probably project is taking some advantage out of that, or they at least make some profits out of that. That's not the case. That's that's not always the case. If you don't have like if the project doesn't have a strong market maker behind the back who will sell some of their tokens and buy back um, um, the tokens back, like when the like on the price retracement, stuff like that. So basically, as you guys do, also like you buy something when price consolidates or goes up, then you sell something on a high, then you buy back again, like swing trading. So like if you don't have a strong market maker who will do that with like gradual strategies without ruining the price, then it's going to be difficult. Like it's gonna be a challenge for a project to do that. So what we're trying to do here in projects, as like in case like Koii as well, um, we are we're trying to be a, a reliable and strong player who's not taking like liquidity or losses out of the retail traders, but cares actually. You cannot care at the same moment about everyone. So like our first priority is the project, and second priority is good looking chart that is predictable for retail traders like you folks or any other retail trader who see the chart and is like, okay, so what are you guys looking on, right? Usually, um, for a couple things. Spread should be tight, should be less than 1%, because like if you open the chart and see like spread is more than 2%, 3%, 4%, it's crazy. You're not gonna trade that. The second thing is good liquidity in the order book. So if you open the, I don't know, MXC chart, for example, and you see like there's a $50 in 5%, you're not going to trade that because like otherwise, imagine you bought for $500 and you decided to sell at some point and it's just impossible to sell. So we are providing the liquidity. We make sure that the spread is tight, and like those are the technical KPIs we have. And the financial KPIs we have are the like how much we can earn um, for the project. Like I'm being straightforward with you here. So our like main strategy here is to accumulate the liquidity, generate a treasury, which then can be used to get with the price. Um,
Right, and it's mostly about building up our treasury and actually making sure that the Koii Foundation is able to also help stabilize the market a little bit. but with the help of Cicada's team and the technologies that you guys have. I want to talk a
Exactly.
little
Yeah.
bit about what the previous market makers were doing wrong in your eyes. Obviously, there were some bad decisions made there. We had a like a loan option model, which basically gives them all the power. And it looks like from the way that the chart behaved that they weren't basically using the loan option to buy back tokens, which has been a pretty consistent trend since we launched the token back in January. Um, Obviously, the
Yeah.
monthly sell-offs have still been pretty bad, that we've been able to temper those over the last, like, month or so. So the sell-offs haven't been as bad as they were previously. Can you talk a little bit about the potential strategy going forward? One of the questions that's in the chat came from Marango, who's one of the community developers. He said more about the old market maker. Do we know what's left to dump? Lots of people keen to buy more Koii, but don't want to be exit liquidity for the old market maker. Um, is there anything you can say to that?
Oh,
Like, kind
that's a very good question. That's a very good question. Um, so we I don't have okay. I will start like from first question. Like, what was wrong with the previous market maker? Um, uh, from their perspective, nothing was wrong because like let me educate you here a little bit. Like there are two models market makers can cooperate with projects. Those are loan and retainer. Loan is also called token options. So for the retainer, imagine like you pay a subscription fee for the market maker, depends on how many exchanges you have and how deep level of the service you want to receive. Like if you want to receive um, super traders that are like looking 24/7 at your chart, great, you like greatest strategy, etc., you pay one price. If you just need someone to look at your charts like once per day, like you pay a different price. So like it's a subscription based, like depends on the tier you want to have. For the loan market maker, and you also like, sorry, let me circle back to retainer once more. One important thing: it is expected from project to provide liquidity to the market. So when I say liquidity, I mean both tokens and stables, because like that's the pair, right? In loan option, liquidity in tokens is provided by project, but in stables, market maker is the one who provides liquidity here. And usually deal size are for the loan deals are like, for example, they look like 300K, 500K, 1 mil in stables. So the project gives market maker tokens like equivalent to, let's take a 500K. And then like they agree on a strike price on the like loan price. And in 12 or 6 or 3 months, market maker is obliged to like give the tokens back or give the stables back. That's like vice versa, which is cheaper for him. So for the market maker, it's like they make money, or we make money with this way, generate our profits by selling tokens on a higher price than a strike price or like agreed upon price, and then buy back them if they go lower than the strike price. That's the case.
that was the
So in terms of how many tokens, so like that was a like small educational. Sorry for the education here, but like Friday, I know we all tired. So what was wrong with the previous market maker? I don't think that it was something wrong, but the model wasn't that good for the Koi's markets. Imagine you have a huge market like Binance or Bybit, for example. Yeah, in this markets having um, lawn-based market maker is fine, but for MXC and Gate, and there was like two lawn-based market makers, it was more than enough. And every time like guys try to do something in marketing, that's the case. Like they were barely able to sell some tokens to cover the marketing expenses. So that was bad. And in terms of which are the levels of like at which levels they have tokens, I don't think that they have much. I truly believe that they have more stables because like most of the tokens looks like they like were able to sell. Um, and we can actually, I can circle back to the community with a report from our traders. Um, we will analyze the chart and we will show the most like areas with the biggest volumes here. But like you can do that, you can do it in TradingView. There's an indicator, not indicator actually, it's integrated in TradingView. It's called fixed range volume profile. So you can open the gate, for example, or MXC. Um, I don't know if I can share my screen here. Oh,
You should be
I
able
can show it actually how it can be done, but like everybody can do that.
I dropped the name in there, so fixed range volume profiles. Um, yeah, so to the point of like how much do they actually have left? At this point, it looks like we have reclaimed most of the tokens that they would have had. At least they, if they're being honest with us, then they've given back most of the tokens. Um, the larger sell-offs now are just the last few weeks or last few months of the vesting for KOLs and some of the like kind of early community people that kind of did like Sybil attacks and things like that and had a lot of tokens. It seems like the vast majority of those have now sold off though, and we've closed off all of the loose ends. So anywhere where they or anywhere where people were getting free tokens or any of these people that have received tokens that maybe were dumping them, we've kind of locked most of that down. Um, so it does look like most of the selling is going to probably abate over the next month or so. So kind of to your question, Marango, I think like that's the most that we can give at the moment as a prospectus. Um, in terms of a roadmap, Den, do you guys have like a roadmap that is shareable for Koii, or can we help you make one, I guess, just to show the community something? The main question is in terms of like trying to bring new investors into the chart, we need to provide some kind of assurances that things are going to start looking brighter. Does
You
that
mean the price roadmap? Well, what we are planning to do with the chart?
not so much a price roadmap, but like a incident response roadmap? What people can expect from how we will be managing the chart, or kind of I guess mostly it's that we're going to try to prevent large sell-offs, which is what has been going on so far. So we've been fairly successful in doing that. At least over the last month, things have relatively stabilized. But
Yeah, so our main idea right now is to accumulate treasury, is to um, get rid of, as we did from the loan market makers, like from the big games who can sell. So like to get rid of sellers, and then to accumulate the price at this level, and actually at some point, um, there wouldn't be that many um, traders who would like to sell, and then it's just the matter of like it's the law of the market. If there are more buyers than sellers, then the price goes up. I will share, like, let me note that i can I can even prepare a chart for the community, not a chart but like some sort of like PDF on what will like one pager roadmap from our technical team, what will be done for the coin, and I'll share it with you here. Okay, does it make sense?
yeah, I think that would help a lot. In parallel, we are also working on ways to build like organic buy pressure. So that actually has been growing. We have been seeing new inflows of people into the community. Lots of new folks showing up on Discord and Telegram. The main thing at the moment, though, is just making sure that the sell pressure isn't going to discourage new folks from joining. So that's kind of that's the big one that we're now trying to solve. Saying this for the sake of the community, so everybody understands kind of where we're at. The next phase of this is starting to build more buy pressure back into the chart, and that's where we're working on a variety of ways to bring other DPINs into the ecosystem and getting trading bots and things like that going. Though things have been slowed down because, of course, as the price goes down more, then it tends to slow things down. Marango also asked about K3. That's not something that Cicada is working on with us, but we're still waiting for DAOs.fun, unfortunately. So DAOs.fun has told us that they're going to be providing trading APIs, so our trading bots can't operate on DAOs.fun until those APIs are available. We do expect that those will hopefully be coming soon. We're still just waiting for them to actually integrate that. I'm seeing one more question popping up here. I'm just going to read it quickly, and then I'll try to paraphrase.
Yeah, from Chan. On top of the market maker, will there be any room for Cicada to further be engaged in the growth of Koii? Connected with institutional investors through, yeah, for sure. We have very strong network of institutional investors, VCs, more than 250 VCs. I do have personally connection with, but like Cicada, I believe like closer to 600, something like that. So for sure, any partnerships, any intros, guys, Al, just send me a quick note, and I'll do that. Yeah, we also like not only me and the company, like of course, but like just so you briefly understand, you had a conversation with our CEO and with our CTO, Max and Andrew. Those folks, 1,000 projects back in the days, like during their journey in a market making space. So networking, we know how to work with the chart. We know how to bring the good quality to the market.
And yeah, in parallel, we are also approaching some OTC deals. So the foundation will likely sell some tokens off the market to larger institutional investors. Those are kind of the second phase after we get the market making figured out. So now that we've got you guys in here, that's becoming something that's a little bit more viable, especially as the market's starting to heat up. Now that there's a bit more price action going on in the broader market. Seems like alts haven't quite recovered yet, but that's kind of the next phase of things. So we expect that once people start taking exits out of things like Bitcoin and Ethereum, then we'll start to see them hopefully being a bit more interested in OTC deals.
Yeah,
Um,
actually, just something, some insight, what's going on behind the curtains in terms of VCs and their interest right now. More and more VCs are right now focused on OTC deals, but for the high cap projects, like more than 10 mil, for example, market cap. And they're looking for OTC deals like for a couple 100K, 200K, 300K, 1 mil, with some discount, with 4, 6, 12 months of lock period. Yeah, so they rather get into that OTC kind of deal than invest in project. Okay, I see a question. Any previous works? For sure. I can share like one of the case. Let me show. Okay, let me just open our case studies here. Just give me 1 second. We were working right now on the case studies. We were doing that because we saw interesting ways to do that. Okay, so in terms of like our cases, what we have, I can just tell you the names, and you can, or I can share with you CoinGecko, for example. Supra is one of the cases. We did initial listings for them. Yeah, 53 mil market cap, pretty cool. Well, although the chart goes up, goes down, like that doesn't really matter. Like to be honest, at some point, selling is gonna stop and people are gonna buy back. So this is one of the recent cases. T-Rise for Rise, I mentioned this one. This is my deal. I just closed it this week. What else? What else? Like from the big names, I don't know if you guys are OGs here, but if you remember, like 3 years ago, it was a huge, huge project called Step N. Solana sneakers, everybody were wearing them, and yeah, so we were launching that token as well. Like those are like some of the big cases we could share.
and also a lot of smaller cap tokens that you guys have helped with recoveries on.
Of course, yeah. From the smaller cap, okay, let me give you one sec.
Yeah, I see. SB Smith asked about upcoming SEX and DEX listings. So We will be pursuing those a little bit more heavily coming towards the fall, probably. Probably more on the deck side. The problem right now is that most of the dexes are full of kind of the teenage meme coin traders, unfortunately, who are not the best people to have holding the token because that just leads to more sell-offs in the future. So we're trying to build kind of the stronger institutional support before we go back to more DEX listings and SEX listings. That being said, we will be following up on those as the year progresses. And I see, Carlos, you asked about the upcoming development phases for Koii. So the main thing that we're doing here at the moment is building buy pressure for the Koii token by creating sort of what we call like gravity wells. So we're trying to create things that lead to tokens living on Koii, so that people are earning other tokens on the Koii node besides Koii, which will hopefully mean that you guys are earning a whole bunch of different depins. The Mysterium launch with IDO was the first phase of this. Obviously, these are a little complicated, but what we're building with IDO is basically a standard for how this will be done across the ecosystem. And the idea there is that anybody who is buying into the Koii token is most likely going to come from another ecosystem. So the more of those tokens that we can have on the node, then the more successful that the node will be. The issue at the moment is that all of those things take a decent amount of budget to pay for development costs and things like that. So whether it's coming from the Koii team or it's coming from an external team, it just leads to more sell pressure at the moment. And so we're working on stabilizing the chart and kind of getting inbound coming in. And that will allow us to then kind of create a bulwark of these other DePIN tokens that will be mined on the Koii node. And every time that one of those tokens is mined on the node, we're going to be wrapping it from another ecosystem onto Koii, which means our DEX will have more trading volume. The Tancho DEX as well is still in progress. We're expecting to see that launch probably within the next month, though it's been a little bit slower than expected. The unfortunate thing is when we pay all the developers with grants in the Koii token and then the token goes down, it makes it a little bit harder for people to work on things. So that is sort of some wins against us, unfortunately. But we definitely are seeing a little bit more traction lately, and even in the last week or so, actually, I've been approached by 3 or 4 people that want to build on top of Koii. We're still getting a lot of inbound from developers, but everything just takes time. Most of the projects that people want to build are um, pretty large scale things, and those take quite a bit of upfront work. So, from the time that a developer comes into the ecosystem to the time that they actually deploy a task or a token on top of Koii can be 3 to 6 months. And so now, even just now coming out of the launch, we're still in the first like kind of 6-month cycle of getting tokens actually on top of the network and building things out. Um, but as that progresses, we expect that we'll have a decent number of new tokens launching on top of the network, and hopefully lots of things getting wrapped in. We have now the all-bridge bridges across multiple different networks, so that was a big lift to get those all done. And we expect that with that online and the DEX launching, we'll be able to start bringing in more stuff pretty soon. Um, and Quinn, I'm not exactly sure I understand your question. I think you're asking if IDO will make intros to their previous works to get them working with Koii in some way. I guess, Dan, if you want to do us a favor and get us in touch with some of these folks, I'm sure that there's some ways we can work with them. I think mostly it comes down to there's always a bit of development work that has to happen to get the node actually upgraded so that it can support these new tokens. But that's definitely something we're looking at. It just it takes time.
Yeah, sure. Like we always happy to make intros. Actually, this is part of my life, making intros, connecting people. I'm like Nokia here.
Yeah, and I should say in parallel, we are also we're working on inroads to other kind of top ecosystems. Um, we had put a lot of work into getting to know the Solana community, and unfortunately, the more that we spend time with the Solana community, the more we realize that they're not actually that interested in technology, and it's mostly like kind of the meme coin trading engine. Um, so that hasn't been super fruitful. We are talking to the Near ecosystem right now, and it seems like Near is actually a little bit more tech oriented, and they have a number of openings in their ecosystem where Koi's nodes and the computing power that we have could be really useful. Um, in parallel, we are also working with Marengo actually on a new task that's going to help us to index the ecosystem and kind of keep track of the amount of infrastructure that we have. And so that I think went out in beta this week, but has been shelved for a couple weeks while we sort out some technical difficulties. Though we expect that that's going to be coming back online pretty soon.
Yeah, there are like many projects or many L1s who are looking to invest actually. Hedera, I don't know if you talk to Hedera. Um, like even old ones, let's call them red flags here. but I really like technology of Polkadot, but like I don't think that it's very trendy this cycle. But those guys are like they have money and they're looking for good collaborations for sure. So yeah, there are like many. Near is a very good choice. I know that they are working with AI projects right now. They're giving good grants. Yeah, Hedera. I mentioned Hedera as well.
Yeah, we've been talking to Stellar as well, because they have some
Mm,
really interesting things happening with stablecoins. So there's a few of these that could go somewhere interesting. It just takes a little bit of time to actually mature those relationships.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cool. I don't see any other questions popping up in the chat, so I'm guessing that everybody's had their chance to ask a question. If anybody has any other questions, usual deal, you can reach out to Bobnimus or the rest of the community team, and they'll get it back to us, and we can get you an answer. Um, Main thing is the network launched in January, so we're about 6 months, 7 months into the network. I guess 6 months as of today. Um, that is about the expected time where things are kind of difficult, and we are kind of coming out of that difficult phase now, and just building towards being able to make sure that we can cover all the costs and getting the team back in full time. Um, Most of the team has been really diligent about volunteering and continuing to kind of do network maintenance and building things up since then. Though that being said, it does take a lot of work to make these kinds of things, and so we're working hard to make sure that we have the funds to keep a strong team in house and get those kinds of things done. Um, in the meantime, though, we are working on a number of ways that we can bring other DePIN tokens into the ecosystem and get them wrapped onto the chain. My personal thesis on this is Koii is still hugely undervalued, and I think we're going to see a pretty good revival of the ecosystem come alt season. It just depends on when that happens, and we're trying to make sure that we're very prepared for that situation now.
Yeah. So
And
the main idea was to stop um, downtrend and come into the accumulation phase. So like if you take a look at the every chart on every token, they usually start well. They should start well with a big green candle. Then whoever bought either on the public sale or during the listing, they want to sell. They want to fix the profits. Like if we'll like go back like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, like previous cycle, or even 2017 when I started, people believed in crypto, and at that time that there weren't that many projects, right? So like people were buying and believing in stuff, and like everything was going to the moon, etc. Right now we have thousands, hundreds of thousands of project meme coins, a lot of uh, different ideas trying to get everyone's attention, right? Um, so right now it's more difficult to have a stable chart from the like stable growing chart from the listing. So usually like people make some profits, I don't know, 20%, 50%, or 100%, 200%. Okay, let's keep with a super positive scenario. Um, and then like they are switching to another project, another project, another project, because like there's always another project, another listing. If you're subscribed for MXC listings and daily, like 10, 20 listings per day. So usually charts right now are looking like that, like a big green candle in the beginning, then a decline period for some time, couple months, maybe 6 months, then in accumulation phase. And then if project has survived the accumulation phase, uh, there's a growth. So I truly like me personally, I have all the projects we like my clients on my trading view. So I follow the charts and I trade them. Why not? Like those are projects that I at least can be confident that we are trading them. So yeah, so I personally invest. a little bit of my funds in the projects we're working with. So yeah, not a financial recommendation or advice or whatever. Just, but yeah, that's just sharing.
No, I appreciate that too. It sounds like we have one more Koi token holder. But yeah, I think your point about consolidation and the way that this tends to work is pretty standard for the ecosystem, unfortunately. It is just the way these things go. It's down for a while, and then once the bottom shakes out, then things tend to go back up. Um, so everybody who's listening, thank you for your patience and your faith so far. We are definitely getting closer to the inflection point, I think. Definitely seeing a lot of new interest coming into the ecosystem every week. So we're here, we're building,